Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's time to record another episode of English with Mahdi. And as you might expect, in today's lesson, we have another 8 essential English words. And try to pay ridiculous attention to what I am saying, and in order to understand and to use these kind of words afterwards. Let's see what we have got today. For the first word, we have retaliate. Retaliate. The stress is on the second syllable. Retaliate. Retaliate is a verb and its noun is retaliation. Retaliate means to do something harmful back to someone because they harmed you first. In short, it means to harm back or take revenge. Retaliate is usually negative and often used in conflict, war, arguments, or punishment contexts. Now we have some useful synonyms for retaliate, which are take revenge, strike back, respond in kind, and some common collocations: retaliate against someone, retaliate with violence, retaliate for an attack, retaliatory action. Now for the examples, we have the country threatened to retaliate after the attack. Another one, he was insulted, but he chose not to retaliate. And the company retaliated by firing the employee. Now let's have this contrast, shall we, among attack, defend, and retaliate. Attack means first action. For example, when one country attacks another. And defend means protect yourself. But retaliate means attack back after something that happens to you. And a memory imagery, for example, someone throws a stone at you, you pause, then throw a stone back. So this is kind of retaliation. And for example, if someone insults you and you insult them back, did you retaliate? Yes, at that time, yes. But if you stay silent, no. I think that's enough to retaliate. Now let's move on to the second word. And this is sanction. Sanction. The stress actually is on this first syllable, sanction. Sanction. It's actually can be either a noun or verb. As a noun, it is official punishments by a government or organization to force change in behavior. For example, economic sanctions were imposed on the country. But as a verb, to sanction means to impose a penalty. For example, the UN sanctioned the regime. We have some similar words to sanction. For instance, penalize, punish, restrict, impose penalties on. And some collocations: impose sanctions, economic sanctions, international sanctions, sanction a country, officially sanctioned. And sentence examples: the government imposed sanctions on the company for pollution. The second one, several countries sanctioned the regime after human rights abuses. And the board sanctioned the use of new teaching materials. Sanction actually has another meaning which is less common. It means to officially approve or permit something. For example, the committee sanctioned the new policy. Some synonyms for the second meaning: for example, allow, approve, authorize, and permit. Let's see how to differentiate between the meanings of sanction. When sanction is about power and control, it usually means punish. But when it is about rules and permission, it means allow. That was sanction, dear listeners, and let's jump to another word, which is withdraw. Withdraw. Withdraw has 2 syllables and the stress is on the second syllable. Withdraw. Withdraw is a verb and it means to take back, move away, or remove something from a place or a situation. Withdraw used to some kind of things, for example, with money. Withdraw money from a bank or ATM to take money out. And with military or in politics, it means to withdraw troops or forces, to pull back. And in participation, it means to withdraw from a cause or competition. It means to stop taking part. And we have withdraw in social contexts. For example, withdraw from people, it means to become quiet or isolated. Some synonyms for withdraw, we have remove, pull out, retreat, take back. And some common used words with withdraw, we have withdraw money, withdraw troops, withdraw from, withdraw support, withdraw an offer. Now let's have some examples. She withdrew some cash from the ATM. And the army withdrew its forces after the agreement. And lastly, he decided to withdraw from the program. And now let's have a contrast between deposit and withdraw. These two words are used with money usually. Deposit means to put money in the bank, but withdraw is to take money out from the bank. That's it, and now we have another word, which is deteriorate. Deteriorate. The stress is on the second syllable. Deteriorate. And deteriorate is a verb, and it is known as deterioration. Deteriorate means to become worse over time. Deteriorate is used in different contexts, such as in health. For example, his health is deteriorating. It means that his health is getting worse over time and progressively. And we have deteriorate in relationships. For example, their relationship deteriorated after the argument. And we have deteriorate in situations and conditions such as the security situation deteriorated rapidly. Now we have some synonyms for deteriorate. We have worsen, decline, degrade, and fall apart. And some collocations: deteriorate rapidly, deteriorate gradually, conditions deteriorate, health deteriorates, and relationship deteriorates. And now let's have some examples to be more clear. The patient's condition began to deteriorate overnight, and where the conditions deteriorated suddenly, and without care the building will deteriorate. Keep in mind that deteriorate means getting worse, and it's not sudden, it's gradually and progressively. That's it, dear listeners, and let's go to the following word which we have, and it is undermine. 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 Undermine consists of 3 syllables, and the stress is on the last syllable. Undermine. Undermine is a verb, and it means to weaken something gradually, often secretly or indirectly. Remember, we usually undermine abstract things, not physical objects. For instance, we have undermine confidence, undermine authority, undermine trust, undermine ethics, and seriously undermine. And for the synonyms, we have weaken, destabilize, and erode. Now, for examples, we have constant criticism undermines students' confidence, and corruption has undermined public trust, and lastly, his actions undermined the leader's authority. That's it, shall we? And for the next word, we have appreciate. 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 The stress is on the second syllable. Appreciate. Appreciate is a verb, and its noun is appreciation. Appreciate means to feel thankful for something. It is common in polite spoken and written English. For example, I really appreciate your help. And another meaning of appreciate is to understand or recognize the importance of something. It's actually more academic and formal. For example, students don't always appreciate the value of time. It means that they don't always recognize the importance of time. And now come collocations for appreciate. We have appreciate your help, deeply appreciate the value or importance of something. And now some examples. I appreciate your support during the course. And she didn't appreciate how difficult teaching could be. And the local currency appreciated last year. It means that increased in value. And now let's have a memory imagery. For example, someone helps you when you are struggling something. At that time, you smile and say thank you. That feeling actually is a appreciation. And now for the seventh word, we have delude. Delude. The stress is on the second syllable. Delude. Delude is a verb, and its noun is delusion, and deluded is an adjective. Delude actually means to make someone believe something that's not true, or to deceive oneself. For example, he was deluded by false promises. Some synonyms we have deceive, mislead, fool, and trick. And some collocations we have delude yourself, false delusions, and completely deluded. And for examples, we have don't delude yourself into thinking success comes easily. And the public was deluded by unrealistic promises. And he lives under the delusion that he never makes mistakes. Remember to distinguish lie and delude. Lie is when you know the truth, but delude you believe the lie. You are convinced to do so. Always remember and ask yourself in these situations. For example, ask yourself, is the belief true? You at that time know that it's not true. But does the person believe it? Yes, so it is delusion, and the person is deluded at that time. Now, guys, for the last word, we have detain. Detain. The stress is on the second syllable. Detain. Detain is a verb, and its noun is detention. It means to keep someone in official custody or delay someone from leaving. Actually, the key meaning is to hold or keep someone temporarily. It's used in some contexts like in law or police. For example, the police detained the suspect for questioning. It means he stopped him temporarily for questioning. and it's used in travel contexts like he was detained at the airport due to missing documents. And in school contexts like students can be detained after class for misbehavior. Now we have some similar words. We have hold, confine, arrest, and delay. And some collocations we have detain someone for questioning, detained at the airport or border, and detention center, and temporarily detained. For the examples we have the authorities detained the protesters for a few hours, and she was detained at customs for inspection, and students may be detained after school for breaking rules. Imagine that a person is held at the airport gate for extra checks. They can't leave until officials finish. This is holding and detention at that time. In short, detain is a temporary hold, but we have another words when it is permanent hold. For example, arrest, imprison, incarcerate. These words are long-term or permanent hold. That's it, dear brothers and sisters. And in the end, let's just have a short story using all the words that I've taught to you today. And let's start. Tensions deteriorated between the two countries. One threatened to retaliate, while the other faced international sanctions. The leader chose to withdraw troops, but critics tried to undermine his decision. Many citizens failed to appreciate the risks and were deluded by false news. Some protesters were even detained, highlighting the fragile situation. That's it, dear listeners, and hope you the best.